What's up, YouTube? So if you are new to my channel, welcome. If you are returning to my channel, welcome back. It has been a while, like a long while, like almost 2 years. I am really sorry. I am so unreliable. However, it was really good to take a break. I needed a break. I couldn't deal with having to conform to the pressure of social media. No, not really. I was just really tired and recovery was really tough. And doing YouTube on top of Instagram and trying to not lose my damn mind because I was eating loads of food and I was pretty unhappy. Yeah, that shit wasn't working. So something had to give, and the thing that gave was YouTube, but now I am back. Huzzah! Welcome back to me, let's have a party. Or, let's do a Q&A, which is slightly late because I have kids and they didn't want me to film a video on Saturday. So over on my Instagram, I asked you guys to swing me some questions, pick my brain, what did you want to know, and you guys came through as you always do, and I have some questions to answer for you, which is great, and I'm hoping I can fit them all in, but I was blessed with the gift of the gab, as they sometimes say. I have never said that before, but I might keep on using it, who knows. I was blessed with that thing, and so sometimes I go off track, and so we're going to try and get all of this in, but we do not know how successful I am going to be. But fingers crossed I can answer all your questions. If I can't, I will do another Q&A. Do not worry. So, just to make one thing clear, I'm going to keep all this confidential, whether it's a relaxed question or not. I don't know whether you guys feel comfortable with me sharing, especially when you DM'd me your questions. So your Instagram handles are going to be kept to me. I'm going to know. I'm not going to share it with Instagram, YouTube, whatever. Not going to share your Instagram handles. I'm just going to answer your questions. Question number 1. How do you get your hair in waves, and also how do you get it so perfect, straight and frizz-free? Okay, I'm going to tell you about my hair. I super damaged my hair. I straightened it, I coloured it, I dyed it white, I dyed it pink, lilac. And so like 2.5 years ago, my hair was like bubblegum. It was gross, it was disgusting, it was always frizzy, it wouldn't dry. And so I cut it all off. I had like 1 inch of little bitty curls on my head, and I wore wigs for ages. And underneath the wigs, I was super looking after my hair. So I have grown this in the past 18 months or so. And so what I do, I wash my hair like once a week. I was washing it way too much before that. I sometimes wash my hair twice a week because now I'm working out. Sometimes it's super full of sweat. Like it's pretty sweaty right now, probably needs to be washed. But, you know, we're just going to go with it because it's raining. So that's like nature's shower anyway. That was really gross. So basically what I do, I wash my hair. When it's still wet, I put coconut oil in it. And then I leave it to air dry. I don't like to dry it, there's no need. And then I straighten it. Sometimes I leave it curly for a day, but then I straighten it. I use heat protecting spray or cream, serum, whatever I have at the moment when I straighten it. And then I leave it. And then a combination of me wearing it up in buns, in ponytails, it being cold and damp right now, and me going to the gym and sweating just makes my hair do this. Like, because it's naturally curly, as soon as any type of moisture starts to touch it, it does tend to start to curl again. And so my perfect waves are sweat. I'm so sorry. I wish I'm not really very good at like doing my hair and doing makeup and stuff. You probably would have realized, and if you haven't, you will realize that I'm on YouTube. And so really this is my hair type. I have grown it all back, and so my hair is very healthy. I do deep conditioning masks, I put castor oil on it, I take biotin, and so my hair is in really, really good shape right now. But it just doesn't like to stay straight, and so it doesn't frizz that much, but it does go curly as it gets full of sweat. Question number 2. I mentioned them earlier. How old are my kids? My kids are 4 and 6. Dylan is the eldest, he is 6, and then I have Isla, who is 4. Honestly, they're insane. I kind of think they take after me in many ways, and it drives me mad. And I'm like, oh, my poor mum, my poor mum. But I love them. They are great, and they will pop up more on my Instagram as I have kind of tried to expand into fitness and parenting and just more than recovery. So you will get to know and see my kids as my Instagram and YouTube keep on developing. Question number 3. How have I accepted the body changes, especially legs? I'm struggling with the weight gain around my thighs so much. Babe. That sounded really condescending, and I don't mean it. Like, I feel you so hard. I hated gaining weight. I hated it. There is a blog post on my old blog that I will link in the description box that kind of I wrote when I was in the early to mid stages of recovery, and I hated every second. If you scroll back on my Instagram, you will see how much of a struggle it was to accept my body for how it was and that it was changing, because it was constantly changing. It sucked. So I really feel your pain and your struggle, because it's really shit. Like, it's so shit. However, it does get better. It does get easier to deal with. The more healthy you get, the more your body and your brain heals, the more able you are to be seeing things rationally. And so the more rational you are able to be, the less those intrusive thoughts hurt, and then the less they come. However, while they are still there, there are some relatively simple things that I did that really helped. Number one is stop wearing jeans. Jeans, I love jeans. Jeans look great, but jeans are this fucking devil. Like, they made me feel, even like really elasticated ones, because they would still have a button and a waistband that couldn't be super stretchy. They made me feel like shit. Like, really they did, because jeans were my kind of my benchmark. Every time I grew out of a pair of jeans, I'd be like, fuck. And I am quad dominant, and so, you know, I have a butt and I have no boobs, and so clearly all the fat liked to go to, like, it didn't want to come up here, basically. So yeah, it was a real struggle for me, because I gained weight on my legs first, and I really hated it. So I threw out my jeans, because they were definitely the benchmark for me to monitor how I was gaining weight and how my body was changing. I started to live in leggings, because there are so many leggings that are really cute. But I also then bought a whole new load of clothes in like 1 or 2 sizes up. Nothing expensive. I kind of lived for things like Romwe and ALI Express and Shein. Like, there's really cheap Chinese, probably really unethical stores, but it meant that I could buy things for cheap and wear them, and it didn't matter if I grew out of them, but they did last me for a while. So I either lived in leggings or things that were a little bit big for me, and so it took some of the emphasis off the fact that my legs were getting bigger. I also learned to reshift my focus onto something else. So I would focus on the fact that my hair was growing, or that my nails weren't snapping all the time. Really like nothing menial things that helped me see positives as my body was changing in recovery, to kind of combat the intense negatives that I was feeling. And lastly, I also talked a lot, like on my Instagram, I talked on my blog, I whinged, I bitched. And whenever someone tried to combat me, I was like, these are my feelings and they are super valid. If I hate my body right now, it doesn't mean I'm going to relapse. It just means I hate my body. Let me feel it, let me talk about it. And that really helped. And I think what helped me overall in recovery and helping with like my changing body was to realize that I wasn't alone. It is so shit, but none of us are alone in this, whatever stage we're at. And there will always be somebody who can empathize with your struggle that you are going through right now. And it can be hard, because sometimes on the Instagram recovery community within that, people are like, yay, pint party, woo, I'm so glad I'm gaining weight. No, it sucks. It really sucks. And there will be somebody who is feeling the same things as you, and it can be quite overwhelming to see that kind of recovery positive attitude all the time. And I realize that I am one of those people now. It's just, you know, part of it. But there are people who get where you're coming from, and to find them and to get support from them and to talk and to build each other up rather than enabling a relapse with each other is such a huge positive and a really big help. Next question. I really want to get into fitness but have a history of disordered eating. Do you have any advice? By the way, I love you and you continue to inspire me all the time. Oh, I love you too. Thank you. Oh, I still find it really weird when people say that. Keep check of yourself, hold yourself accountable. I think fitness and exercise can be great, and having a history of disordered eating or being in recovery should not mean that you can't exercise, but it does mean you have to be careful. You have to always call yourself out. Question why you want to do this. Question your goals. Question your choice of exercise. Always hold yourself accountable. If you feel like you are slipping, stop. And I know that's hard, and I know it's easier said than done, but it's so important that you have that trust within yourself, that you can say, I am going to look after myself. I'm going to hold myself accountable. I am not going to let myself slip backwards. I would also recommend starting really light. So I started with yoga. I love yoga, and yoga is something that is both very spiritual for me and also helped me build a lot of strength. Like, there was at one point when I was doing loads of yoga and I was ripped. Like, I was super ripped. When I went back into yoga, I wasn't doing it as intensely as I used to be, but I definitely think that some people overlook how intense yoga can be. And so yoga is a good way to introduce yourself to exercise, and you can progress all the way up to like crazy poses that take crazy strength and crazy agility, but it's a good starting point. I also worked out at home for a long time, so I think that's a really good idea. Like, rather than committing to a gym membership and spending loads of money, find some exercise that you like. So make sure that if you want to start lifting things, lift things at home. You know, I bought some resistance bands and they were great. I had the little loopy ones and I had the stretchy pingy ones that had handles that I could anchor to the door. And so I was able to do a really good workout that mimicked the kind of stuff I'm doing in the gym now, with far less resistance at home, which kind of got me to know what I wanted to do while also gently going into it and also being really safe. If you are also worried, I would recommend talking to your doctor and just kind of seeing what your doctor's advice might be, because what worked for me may not work for you. So yeah, just stay on top of yourself, hold yourself accountable, and take it slow. Next question. How did you manage to fill out and put on weight? I really struggle with just maintaining my weight, so tips would help. Okay, I get this question a lot about how to gain weight and maintain weight and stuff. The number one thing is understanding your body. It is a massive thing that we are under eating as a society, and I think because we live in such a diet-centric society that it becomes really easy to undereat, and we're also so busy, so skipping meals like is the norm. So I would go and find a BMR calculator. I really like the one on bodybuilding.com. I think it's really well rounded, but if you go onto Google you can just find a BMR calculator. However, the bodybuilding.com one is going to be in the description box. So do that, find out your BMR, which will be how many calories your body is burning just doing what you're doing with your life. And then what you want to be doing is adding a couple of 100 calories on top of that, so you are eating a calorie surplus. If you're aiming to gain weight, I would say you should be aiming for about 500-600 calories above your BMR as a good benchmark to see whether it's happening and whether that's working and whether you need to adjust. But you do not have to add those calories straight away. Adding 100 calories every 10 days or so to your diet is a good way to slowly increase without it being an overwhelming amount of food, and without there being any negative side effects like loads of bloating or feeling sick or just not managing to get it all in. Your body will acclimatise if you do it slowly. So aim for getting like a 500-600 calorie surplus, and then reevaluate. Maybe you want to drop down a bit, maybe you want to add a bit more, and just keep on listening to your body and adjusting what you're eating to reflect the goals that you want to reach in comparison to where your body is at now. Okay, next question. This is kind of a long one. It seems like your relationship with exercise has evolved a lot as your recovery has progressed. There's a lot of variation in the ways those in recovery approach exercise, with some professionals recommending avoiding it altogether in early stages of recovery. It seems like you're much better able to cope with it if you miss a day now. Do you feel like you be able to recover at all without any exercise? Yeah, I really enjoy exercise. I was an athletic child. I danced as a child. However, if I couldn't exercise, you know, it wouldn't bother me. For me, my number one is recovery. I didn't exercise at all for 8 months and then was cleared to exercise by my doctor and advised to exercise because my body type as a mesomorph is naturally muscular, and I found that I was really struggling to keep on putting on weight. I hit a certain weight and just kind of plateaued, and I was raising my calories and nothing was happening. And my doctor said, you know, why don't you try putting on some muscle? Also, I have some problems with my bones, and so having a bit more muscle supports my skeleton. So for me, introducing exercise was the right choice in my recovery at that point. However, if I had a different body type, and bones that didn't need muscles supporting them so much, obviously everybody has bones and, you know, muscles hold up your skeleton, but yeah, I have arthritis and osteoporosis, so it's a bit more important that I have some support going on. But if my body was different, my recovery would have been different, and I completely respect that there are so many different paths to recovery. And personally, I feel like, and I hope that I would always be able to put my recovery and my health above wanting to exercise, because now I feel like I exercise because I enjoy it. You know, it helps. If I'm stressed, I like to go lift some things and put them back down again and be like, and, you know, make noises and pull faces. And I like to go and do yoga to calm down, and sometimes if I'm sad, I like to dance like a crazy person. And I think I would be really sad if I couldn't do that, because it's part of who I am and really always has been. But if I miss a day or a week, I mean, in the summer holidays, so like 6 weeks, I barely exercised because I was so busy, and it didn't have an effect on me emotionally. And so I would like to think that if I couldn't exercise, I would still be able to recover fully, or I would still be able to recover to the point that I am at now without exercise. Does that make sense? I hope so. I don't even know if that answers your question. I felt like I went off on a tangent. I hope that answered your question. Okay, this is the last question I have time for. I do have a couple of others. I think I'm going to have to make another video because this is going a bit long. How often would you say you've had bad body image days, and how long exactly did it take for you to begin to love your body? And there's another one in the same comment, so I'm going to do 2 more questions. So now I don't have bad body image days that much. I don't have them that much. I would say every couple of months I'll have one, and it will be kind of shitty. I had one quite recently. I changed my pain med dosage just slightly, and my body was like to all the water, and I was like, fuck, this sucks. Yeah, and after a couple of days of being really bloated, it did kind of get me down. I was like, oh, I don't want to get dressed, I don't like anything. But they do pass really quickly, and they don't affect my day anymore. Like, how I feel about my body does not translate or pass on to how I am able to get on with my life, enjoy my day, do my work, look after my kids, etc., like it used to. It took, I think, I can't remember the exact date, but I remember the post, like my first post where I was like, I love my body, and then I was like typing it send. I was like, fuck, this is terrifying, because I had never admitted that I liked myself, let alone my body, before. I think it took about 18 months into recovery. It might have been last summer. It might have been when I was in my bikini stage last summer, which was about 16, 17 months into recovery, and I was finally like, you know what, I look quite good. I look pretty banging. And I was like, yeah, in the mirror. So it took a long time, and I think that is more to do with the fact that this self-hatred and self-loathing and hating my body was so deeply ingrained that it felt wrong to admit that I liked myself. And so I feel like I kind of created a subconscious block to how I actually saw myself. So I think I probably actually liked my body before that, but I just couldn't acknowledge it because it freaked me the fuck out, you know? And then the second question in that comment is, what exactly was the turning point of you loving yourself more than hating yourself? I think it was a really slow turning point. It was like realizing that my body could do things that I never thought it would be able to do, that I was able to enjoy things, and I could relate the fact that I was able to live my life and study and be a better parent and a better friend because I was healthier. And so it was like this slow kind of spiral. I don't know, it was a spiral, there we go, spiral, rather than a turning point. And just kind of acknowledging that having a healthy body is not, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a good thing. I didn't need to strive to be thin. And I can remember about, it took me a while, even after I started exercising. So that was a year, 8 months into my recovery. So it probably took about a year into my recovery, then I was able to really look back at old photos of myself and be like, I don't want to be there again. And that, I think, was the catalyst for me being able to start loving myself. Because when I realized I didn't want to look like that again, I was like, oh, so that must be, I'm okay with how I look now. And it took me a while to figure that out. I was kind of like, what does this mean? Where is the connection? What am I thinking? But that was definitely the starting point, and then it was the awkward spiral that I can't. If I was really like creative and good at YouTube, I would like draw one, but I'm not, so we're just gonna have to deal with me doing this really awkwardly until the end of the video. But that's all my questions, so we're done. I'm going to stop spiraling now. That's all my questions. I hope that I have answered them in a way that is helpful or makes sense. I have no idea what I've said in the past. Well, I've been filming for like half an hour, and I'm going to edit it down. So I have no idea what I've said in the last half an hour. I hope I have made some sense. It's been a while since I made a YouTube video, so this could be a disaster. Who knows? Not me till I edit it. You guys know, because you will have watched the video, but I haven't watched it yet, so. But it's good to be back. I have another video that I just filmed because I had like a surprise package that I was so excited about. And so these are both going to go up really soon. And then hopefully I'm going to be filming a video every Saturday because that is when I have some time. And so I should have videos once a week on top of my Instagram, and we'll see how that goes because I am less of an emotional wreck now. But it was really, really good to film a video. I really hope you liked me rambling. Anything you would like me to talk about, anything you want to know, any video ideas you have, either pop it in the comments, send me a DM, explain things to me, whatever. I am super open to ideas because I'm still a bit like, fucking back on YouTube. I don't even know what to talk about on Instagram. What am I going to talk about in a 20-minute video? Hopefully they're not going to be 20 minutes long. But yeah, so welcome back to my YouTube. Or should I say that to myself? I don't know. Welcome back. I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time. Bye.